Hi guys, Ashley here, also known as Ashley Fan, today with another video. And the video I promised to do was my opinion on Lucas and Brooke's breakup of season 4 in the first episode. I'm just gonna wing it. What I originally wanted to do was do like a reaction to it and then give my opinions like I did with the wedding fight, but to stop the video from being long because that video was 30 minutes. I had a lot to get off my chest about that wedding fight. I don't know if some people agree or disagree with my takes on it, but me personally, that's just my opinion. Live with it, don't live with it. I don't care what you do. But what drew me here for this topic video was I was watching a podcast, and I'm really at the point where I just really want to unsubscribe from them completely on YouTube. Stop following them on TikTok because I feel they have not said one good thing about the show. Like seriously, not one good thing. Sophie was talking about the breakup and she was mentioning how Lucas, the next episode when he was offering her a peace offering, like basically saying that if we're not gonna be together, can we like be friends? Because just because we can't be together don't mean I don't care about you, which is respect. She was like, we're not friends, we were Peyton's, what you doing over here? And he said, you know what, Brooke, he said, I thought we could at least be friends. And she said Lucas had the nerve, the writers had the nerve to have Lucas had the nerve to have Lucas say, you never fought for me. And she said, why would Brooke fight for him when he clearly has feelings for somebody else? And I can understand that take, but it's like, then why go through a relationship anyway? To me, I felt like, and I've always felt like this, is that Brooke always knew that he had some underlying feelings for Peyton, and she still went out with him anyway. So if you really think about it, and I'm not trying to offend her or offend anybody who loves Brooke. I love Brooke just like anybody else. I think a lot of people think that I don't like her, but that's not true. I think Brooke is very complex. I absolutely love her journey as a character. But it's like, it was like she put herself in a position to get hurt. Because you have to think about it in this way, in a scenario. Why would you go out with somebody if you know if they have feelings for somebody else? That makes no sense logically. No sense. So it's like Brooke put herself in a position to get hurt because everybody in their fucking mama knew that it was going to be Peyton and Lucas until the end of time. So I just don't understand. I can understand her saying, oh, why fight for him if I knew you had feelings with somebody else? But then it's like, why go back out with him? Why make up these false claims about wanting to start over, giving him these letters, if you knew the whole time he had feelings with somebody else? That makes no sense to me. She never loved Lucas, like I said in the wedding video. I feel like she didn't love Lucas. Her and Lucas loved the memories. I think they loved the time they spent with each other. I don't think they were in love. Because if they weren't in love, it wouldn't have... I'm not saying being in a relationship isn't complicated, but with them, it was always an issue. I feel like in a relationship, if it's always a problem and y'all can't compromise it, then y'all shouldn't be together. And that was really like... not the biggest issue in a relationship, but that was like one of them, is that her and Lucas did not know how to compromise. They were not mature together because they didn't know how to talk about things. Brooke would rather bury things instead of talking about it, and then Lucas would look like the bad guy for not seeming to understand her emotionally when she's emotionally closed off. So you get my point. But what brings me here to the breakup scene is that this scene has always pissed me off from the very beginning, and the reason for that was because it was time to break them up. I was over him and Brooke. I was over them completely, entirely. I was ready for him and Peyton at this point in season 4. Actually, I was ready for him and Peyton from the very beginning. Like, I was just patiently waiting when they were going to get together, but him and Brooke, I was completely over them. I was just thinking, like, the writers need to give this up. It is time to move on from this. But I think what pissed me off about the breakup was that Brooke is talking about, she's giving him a bullshit reason as to why she wants to break this off. She's telling him that she don't miss him no more, and that ever since she feel like he quit basketball, he's been putting all of his turmoil on her. And really what this whole situation was about was the kiss. The whole situation was about the kiss, and she made Lucas feel like it was about something else rather than the kiss. He apologized for the kiss, but I feel like at that point there was really no point of apologizing, because she already had her mind made up. She wanted to end this. She wanted to end a relationship, and I think it was just time for Lucas to let it go. Like, did he hurt Brooke? Yes. Did him and Peyton both hurt her? Yes. But the problem I've always had when it comes to this scenario is that nobody wants to admit that all three of them hurt each other. I've already said this. Nobody in that love triangle is innocent. Lucas has done things. Peyton has done things. And Brooke has done things too, whether people want to believe it or deny it. Because they're so far up. Her fan base really kiss her ass too much for me. Like, they just make it seem like Brooke can do no wrong. And that's the problem I have with her as a character. I've already talked about this in character favoritism, is that people just seem like she can do no wrong. And me personally, a character is not perfect. Nobody is perfect. In life, you're going to have flaws, whether they're big or small flaws. Like, you could be a whiny person. You could be a whiny person, but you have good integrity, or you have good decision making, but you can be a whiny person. You can be like, I just feel like that's why it would have been better if I would have had to react off of it, because I can't remember everything from word by word from the top of my head that she said. But I know she told Lucas that it wasn't about Peyton, and I'm just sitting there thinking that is just a whole ass lie. This whole situation has always been about Peyton, about her comparing herself to her, about her feeling like she wasn't enough for Lucas. And you always hear people say Lucas made her like that. No. Brooke made herself like that. Maybe in the beginning in season 1, yeah, because he has the underlying feelings for Peyton. But I feel like in season 3, his whole focus was on Brooke. Like, can nobody not tell me that his whole focus was on Brooke? His entire focus was on Brooke. Entirely. Brooke made it her mission to compare herself to Peyton. Like, what is so special about Peyton that is missing from her? Like, in the rain fight, she even had the audacity to compare herself to Peyton. She had the audacity to compare old love letters that Lucas wrote and compare them to a love letter that he wrote for her. She had the nerve to compare love letters. Like, Brooke was really, really insecure, and I feel like a lot of people just don't seem to understand that. She was insecure way before she met Lucas. Like, she was insecure way before she met him. Water break, y'all. She never loved Lucas. I feel like if they would have had just called it off at the wedding instead of having that big dance and then making it seem like they were going to be together, and then her telling Peyton asking her, did you love Lucas? And her saying that Peyton doesn't deserve an answer. Obviously the answer was no, she don't love Lucas. She never loved Lucas. And I think it's because it was always that certainty of her feeling like it was unrequited. And I completely understand that. I do. I don't want people to think that I don't understand some of Brooke's feelings. I do understand. I can understand her feeling like it was all unrequited, because he always had underlying feelings for Peyton. But it's like, if you knew that, why put yourself in a position to be hurt when you know that somebody has feelings for somebody else? I just don't get it. I think that would just always be like my biggest question mark in the relationship, is that Brooke put herself in Lucas and Peyton's way. If she would have had never found Lucas interesting, I don't think we would have gotten all this frustration that we've gotten with the love triangle. I don't think we would have gotten all that frustration. I don't think he would have gotten all that frustration. I just don't think he would have gotten all of it. But since it is what it is, that we can do about it. I don't think Brooke was honest, and that's the biggest problem with her too as a person. Is like I just said, she buries things and decides not to talk about them. In that very moment, she could have had told Lucas how she felt all along, but I think I feel like she initially did that in the wedding fight. How she kind of already felt, and I kind of already defended why I feel like some of the things she was saying was just bullshit, because how can someone be there for you emotionally if you just bury everything deep down and don't make yourself emotionally available to him when you feel like he doesn't deserve to see the best side of you because he's hurt you? Well, then if that's the case, why are you dating? Why are you dating? I feel like if Brooke would have had just kept it honest in the breakup scene and been like, this has always been about Peyton. I just feel like you have some underlying feelings for her and we just can't be together because it would just never work. As long as me and you are together, it is going to always, Peyton is going to always be in the picture. And I feel like she would have had just kept it honest instead of making about his heart condition and basketball being thrown out of his life and losing Keith. She made it all about this BS when honestly it was always about Peyton. So for Sophie to sit in the podcast and say, how dare he say that Brooke never fought for him, it's like, yeah, I think, no, not that. I want to reword it. I think for her to, I feel like, here's the thing I'm trying to say. If Brooke had feelings for Lucas the whole time, we were manipulated into believing that she felt the same way about him. Follow me. Why wouldn't she want to fight for him back? If she's telling everybody, because he's the guy for me, he's the one, why wouldn't she fight for him? Why wouldn't she fight for him? I definitely agree with Lucas there when he walked up to her and he said, you never once fought for me. And Brooke never done that. She never once confessed any feelings. She never once made any romantic gestures. She never once made a fool out of herself in front of a whole bunch of females. She never once did that to Lucas. So it's like, who's really in an unrecorded situation here? I guess you could say them both. I thought they both were giving each other a little, and people will make them seem like people try to make the assumption that Brooke was giving him too much and Lucas was giving her too little, but in reality they both were giving each other too little because it just didn't feel, it wasn't right. It was complicated. So what I'm trying to say is I can understand Sophie for being like how Lucas has the audacity to ask her that she never fought for me because he always had underlying feelings for Peyton. I can understand that, but in a scenario, it doesn't hurt to ask because it's like, I fought for you, I fought to win your heart back, and you didn't fight to win mine. So I could understand that situation. Me personally, I think it was just time to break up Lucas and Brooke. It was really time for them to just end it and be friends. So my opinion on the breakup was that I think it was time, and I wished that Brooke would have just kept it honest. I think what always pissed me off about the breakup was that she wasn't honest about the things she was saying. She wasn't honest about it. And we have people saying, oh, Lucas zoning out, it's just him not listening. No, it's like when someone tells you that they don't miss you no more or they don't enjoy your company, why should I sit here and give you any more of my listening time on why you're dumping me? When I hear things like, oh, I don't miss being around you, I don't enjoy your company, being around you is more of a chore than being happy with you. All I'm hearing is reasons why we shouldn't be together. Really, is why we shouldn't be together. But I didn't like the fact that Lucas was trying to like pretty much like I guess get her to change her mind, and no, it was just trying to break them up. And like you said, when someone suddenly tells you that they stop missing you or they don't enjoy being in your company, what else is there left to say? So maybe his sorries didn't mean anything. And I completely understand that too because he cheated on her twice. I completely get that. But in some extent, you have to look in the mirror and realize that Brooke isn't as innocent as people try to make her seem. And if you watch this breakup, there are some people who take her side instead of understanding that why didn't she just keep it real in the breakup? She's mentioning all these things that have nothing to do with what they're going through. The only problem that they have that is the only issue that they have going in the relationship is that he has underlying feelings for Peyton, and that as long as they're together, Peyton's gonna always be in the picture because Lucas has feelings for her that he won't admit. I will agree that Lucas' indecisiveness is what did ruin his relationships, but me personally, I would just always be a Lucas and Peyton shipper. I will always be a stan of them. I don't agree with the cheating being like this ongoing storyline with them on him finding who he should be with. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. I don't think he should have hurt Brooke twice because of it. I don't care for Lindsay as a character. I feel like with Lindsay, she was just stupid from the beginning. And the same thing too with Brooke is that you can't help but question their mindset. Is because if you know someone got feelings with somebody else or they're in love with somebody else, what are you still doing here? Like, why are you trying to change somebody's mind? You obviously know that it's something going on between him and this girl that's deeper than what it seems. It's something more going on than just a friendship, and I feel like any rocket science would have had figured that out. But they chose to put themselves in a position of getting hurt instead of just walking away. And I'm gonna stand on that. I don't care how anyone feels about that. I feel like Lindsay and Brooke put themselves in a position to get hurt than breaking it off. And that's just how I feel. When her and Lucas had that fight at the wedding, Brooke should have just ended it then and there, because it was no reason to drag it to the first episode when we all know they weren't going to be together. They could have just ended it then and there, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. So that's just my opinion on that. Like I said, I winged it. So let me know how you guys feel. I do have another One Tree Hill rant, 2 more that I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about why I didn't like Brooke in season 4, why she was really just a bitch in the first beginning of the season, and then she changed it around towards the end. I have that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Brooke and Peyton fight in season 4. I want to talk about that because people always seem to have a whose side are you on, Team Brooke or Team Peyton, when Brooke was really in the wrong and she tried to play victim in that situation too. And another video I want to make about is this whole, suddenly people want to say Peyton and Lucas have this trauma bonding situation. I'm going to nip that right in the bud because me personally, I don't agree with that. Especially when you listen to what Hillary said about it on the podcast. I would just say this is number dick. They were watching the Derek episodes, and she said that she don't understand why Peyton is so glued to Lucas. She's been hurt and assaulted. She should be leaning on a woman, but she said the writers made her so glued to Lucas that is a traumatic situation. I don't understand that. What is she talking about? If anybody would understand what she's going through, it would be Lucas. He was there. Wouldn't she feel more confident in trusting in somebody who was there that night than confiding in someone like, I don't know, Karen, who wouldn't know a damn thing about being in that situation? What would Karen tell her about being attacked? Karen's never been attacked. What would she know? That don't make sense to me. I don't agree with Lucas and Peyton being a trauma bond. You also people say they share the same pain. What pain did they share? Lucas didn't have a dad. Peyton does have a dad. Only thing Peyton doesn't have is she lost her mother's both. Like, what shared pain they talk about? If you honestly think this because someone understands your feelings, like the pain side of it, like confiding in someone about your hurt, if you think just because you confide in someone about your hurt and they give you advice and that they understand your hurt. If you think that's trauma bonding, then I honestly don't think you know a damn thing about what trauma bonding is. Trauma bonding to me is Jules and Ruth from Euphoria. The only thing they have in common is the pain that they go through on a daily basis. That's trauma bonding. They have no other interests outside of each other besides the pain that they go through. That's it. And trying to fix each other. That's trauma bonding. That's a toxic relationship. Lucas and Peyton, I feel like Peyton confiding, and I'll go more into this in their video, but I'm gonna just leave it here. I think Peyton confiding in Lucas, because I feel like Lucas was like the first person who actually listened, in my opinion. I feel like she told him things that she could never tell Brooke. In my opinion, because her and Brooke were always falling out. I feel like Lucas was just somebody that she could always trust, no matter what. So, me personally, no, it wasn't a trauma bond. And there's just no evidence to prove it. So, I'll get in more depth about it in the video, but I'm going to just leave it right here. The video's already getting long. But me personally, this is just my opinion on the breakup. Take it or leave it. Hey, I said what I said.